It's time. It's a new era. Oh. Whoa. Oh, we got it. Yeah, there it is. Let's go, Stoops Nerd Channel. All right, guys, before we get into this, like the video, subscribe to the channel. It's the new sign. I actually really love it. I feel like the size is pretty great. I was not quite sure, but it worked out pretty well. And guess what? We are live on YouTube and also, I believe, on Twitch. Let's see. I'm trying to make sure this is working. Reload player. Doesn't look like it might be working very well. So I've got to maybe work with that and just make sure. Let's see. Does that not working perfectly? We'll see. I don't know. I've got some work to do with Twitch, but the most important is the YouTube anyway. So welcome everyone. Upgraded Hoops Nerd channel on YouTube like always. Very happy with it. Let's lower me here, even though that bright beautiful sign is looking great. Another loss for the Utah Jazz. We had a few days off, which was kind of nice. It gave me a chance to get this all set up and done. I was excited to show this off tonight, guys. I feel like it looks pretty good. I'm not going to lie. I really like that sign. Now, my head covers up where my ring light reflects, but that's okay. Also, I had to do some adjustments to make sure it was purple, that it wasn't completely washed out. I think it's got enough that you can tell it's purple, even though for me it's a brighter purple, but we'll see. I might have to get a better kind of DSLR camera here at some point. We will at some point, but those things cost money. And this show just gets one piece after another. We keep on going until the Jazz win championship and beyond. But anyways, the Clippers look like a completely different team as opposed to last time. Thank you, Daniel Higley. I appreciate it too. Is that pounds? Thank you so much. The sign looks great. I really appreciate it, Daniel. Thank you very much. I think it looks pretty good. Not gonna lie, I'm biased, but I like it. But anyways, the Clippers look like a much different team. They're the hottest team in the NBA, and they looked like it tonight. They just looked like a team that's much more in control, that knows who they are. Their players are just playing flat out better. And they just really, they crushed the Jazz tonight in the second half especially, just really took it to them. You know, Kawhi Leonard had a solid night, 21 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists. He was very good. James Harden was also pretty darn good, but the percentages weren't quite there, but 10 assists is solid. The player that really took the heart out of the Jazz was Chris Dunn. 5 steals. He was an absolute menace for them in that third quarter. I think he had at least 3 in the third quarter, if not more, and just crushed them. And so I'll be honest, it's nice to see the Clippers playing better because I just don't want the Oklahoma City Thunder to get any picks in the first round from either the Jazz or the Clippers. And at this point, if you look at where the Clippers are going, and this is just kind of a petty watch, but I am definitely kind of rooting for the Clippers to make the play-in. No picks to the Oklahoma City Thunder at all. They are 22-14. They're 9-1 in their last 10. They are now 1 behind Portland, who, by the way, lost to the Washington Wizards tonight. So Utah is now just 4 games back of them and 3 games back of 3 teams. The team they're eventually going to pass is the New Orleans Pelicans, who barely lost tonight. Or let's see, Washington beat Portland, and New Orleans played really well against Oklahoma City. I have a feeling New Orleans is going to go on a late run. I don't know if they're going to quite go on this type of run like the Clippers are on, but they are playing better. They are the best of these worst teams below the Jazz. They're absolutely figuring it out. Zion is playing night in and night out. They are just a talented team, and it's a surprise they're even here. I would not be surprised if they end up in this kind of range at some point next season. We'll see. It would be very satisfying to see them go on a big run as well. So, not much else to say about the Clippers other than just pettiness. Utah did not have Keyonte George tonight, and that was really, to me, the big story of this one, is just how much, Lauri Markkanen missed Keyonte George, and just the Jazz in general. I have to say, I was not super impressed with Isaiah Collier at times tonight, and it's funny, he has the best plus minus there. But that was probably from that first half. They basically took him out in the second half at a certain point because the offense was just not running. And Utah plays tomorrow, so they're going to be playing. Who does Utah play tomorrow? Actually, Utah plays. Oh, maybe they don't. Oh, there they do. Yeah, 7 o'clock. They're playing the Warriors tomorrow, which is weird. How do they haven't? I think that's against the law. I think that's literally against the rules, actually, that a team can't play within under 24 hours. That's a 23-hour thing, Adam Silver, you liar and cheater. You liar, Adam Silver. You are a liar and a cheater, and you cheat the Jazz, but I'm not worried about it too much. Utah needs to rest Keyonte George tomorrow as well because they need to lose this game. And the Warriors, they lost Jimmy Butler, and they're pretty bad without him. So I don't know. I don't know what they've done recently, but I don't want to mess around with that at all, and I'm sure the Jazz don't either, especially when they are this close to getting past some of these teams, getting pretty close. So yeah, Utah needs to figure out how to lose that game. They for sure. And then, really at this point, we're watching these other teams. All the other tank teams above the Jazz are. This is a winnable game for the Wizards. That's great. And then obviously Mavericks, Hornets, although the Jazz are up enough on them that at this point, I think we're probably pretty safe. Nets and Nuggets. Nuggets without Jokic, so that's always a possibility. So anyways, I did not feel like Isaiah Collier played particularly well tonight. If you look at the numbers, you'd be like, 12 points, 9 assists. That's solid. But if you watch the game, the offense just did not flow. There was a lot of times where it just felt like he was not getting the ball to people quickly. It was not initiating fast enough, and the ball just did not move very well. I felt like it was a kind of a night for Walter Clayton to really show what he can do, and I felt a little better having him on the floor, but it wasn't much better, right? It was better, but just by a little bit, which I think is a good sign for Walter Clayton as a point guard and just as a future backup guard for the Jazz. But I was pretty disappointed for Collier tonight. This was his chance to really shine, and he did some nice things. But I felt like, man, in that second half, that third quarter, he really struggled. And it was not necessarily just the raw numbers. It was just like the actual running of the offense. I have to say, so Markkanen struggled tonight. He missed Keyonte George. Some of this may have been just coming off of injury, but he ended up shooting it nicely from 3. So that's good for him. But 19 points and 5 rebounds, 4 assists. He'll get better. He obviously was sick. Zach Lowe reported on that he was legitimately ill. And it kind of gave someone else a chance to really shine, and that was Ace Bailey, who ended up with 20 points tonight and a rebound. He had 13 in the first half, got the halftime walk-off interview. They had to pull him back out of the locker room. But Markkanen sitting gave Ace Bailey a chance to play, and I think tonight showed where the potential with Ace Bailey is, where things were not going great with Isaiah Collier running the point in the second half, which is too bad. But it does sometimes in those types of situations, you can see what another player can do. And Ace Bailey kind of created his own shot a couple times. Just get the ball in the post, back your man down, and get a tough either turnaround or pull-up jump shot. And those were playoff shots. That's what had me kind of excited for Ace Bailey. Because those are the types of things that happen in the playoffs. Because you'll have teams that are just absolutely going to take everything away from you. Everything is going to be slowed down. The games are going to be ugly. And you need guys that can get their shot. And we saw flashes of that from Ace Bailey tonight. Really good sign. Was it great basketball for the Jazz tonight? No. They really got taken out of their comfort zone. Especially Markkanen, who got the ball stolen from him multiple times. Isaiah Collier. Quite a few guys just had turnovers tonight. Filipowski. But what made me very happy was that Ace Bailey was able to get some tough buckets when things kind of broke down. And that is the epitome of playoff basketball, because things break down in the playoffs all the time. So nice to see. Kevin Love got the start at center. He did not play particularly great, minus 20 for him. He's just, he's getting to the point where it's a little bit, he's just older, and that's just a reality. But I do like having him on the team. He's obviously been a great influence and kind of has that just nice locker room veteran presence that helps these guys out when you need. By the way, I felt bad for Ace Bailey because they announced the Rising Stars today, and Ace Bailey did not make it, and it made me annoyed because what they were doing tonight was so much better for his development than watching Svi Mikhailuk take 20 to 30 minutes a night. I have been so tired of watching that. And honestly, I felt bad for Bailey because I felt like it cost him a spot this year. He had enough notoriety and has had enough good games, and his numbers have been improving every game this year. But the Jazz just prioritized Svi Mikhailuk over Ace Bailey. And yeah, he had that. He was sick to start the year. Maybe. Although it was a little sus at times. I wouldn't be surprised if that's what it was. But, the Jazz really prioritized getting Svi Mikhailuk on the floor to start this year. And it never made sense. It never made sense that we signed him in the first place. And that kind of sucks. And if Svi Mikhailuk did not play all year, does that mean Ace Bailey that for sure means Ace Bailey makes the Rising Stars? I'm not sure. But he certainly would have had a better shot. And if you don't think that these players don't care about it, I promise you they do. And I think Ace Bailey found out about it. He looked like he wasn't quite his most cheerful self. I would not be surprised if he was bummed out, to not even make the Rising Stars channel. And, and he had hopes of making Rookie of the Year, but then to not even make Rising Stars is really frustrating. It's really frustrating. And so I have to say that was just kind of a fail on the Jazz part. You want to make these players feel like they are succeeding. No one in life, there's nothing worse in life than being set up to fail. There's just nothing worse than that. And and that's just, the Jazz didn't do that on purpose, but they certainly didn't do anything to avoid it either. And so that's what's frustrating about it. And I felt bad for Bailey. I felt like he could have earned that had he been given a little bit more priority, and then coming off the bench to start. And some of that just seems like arbitrary, dumb garbage. I'm getting older. I've been around this block for a while, guys. And that stuff is stupid sometimes. If you earn it, you earn it. Okay? Because guess what? Everyone needs to earn their spot. And that includes Svi Mikhailuk. And if he's, Svi Mikhailuk is a 10-year veteran or whatever he is, of course he's going to be more comfortable and hit more threes, right? But there's a ceiling to what he does. And that's why you don't put him on the team in the first place. And with some of these guys, like, Cody Williams too, has really come on as the season's gone on. Maybe these things happen sooner if they just get the time. It just made no sense. Why are they competing with some veteran who is just consistently going to hit threes regularly? Of course that's going to look better than a rookie out there who's going to make some mistakes. That's just a reality. And it just kind of goes back to the start of the season, when Walker Kessler was there and Utah, who 100% came into the season without a very clear plan. Are we trying to win? Are we trying to keep our pick? Are we trying to develop our players? It just was not great. Now, the Jazz are in a better place now, but the moral of all this is, had the Jazz had a better outlook of what they wanted to do this season, had they made smarter decisions with some of these veterans, and basically Svi Mikhailuk, you can argue Yusuf Nurkic, which has turned out to be pretty solid, and I don't think has really hurt the tank. Kyle Anderson to some extent, but they haven't prioritized Kyle Anderson over players. But why they prioritize Svi Mikhailuk over Ace Bailey and Cody Williams and basically all their young players to start the season will never make sense to me. It never made sense ever at all, especially last year. I mean, honestly, what was the point? Nothing against Svi Mikhailuk. I'm honestly complimenting him. And I was talking, it's funny, Harrison, who's the manager over all the SB Nation managers, he wrote a thing because we were talking about it in manager chat. And I talk with all the managers of the other teams because I manage the Jazz for SB Nation, and I honestly was just begging them to write about it. Like, please take this guy. He's a good player. That makes no sense for what the Jazz are doing. So Harrison, in his kindness, wrote a Lakers article saying they should trade for Svi Mikhailuk. So thank you, Harrison. Using your clout, it is more than mine. So thank you. I appreciate it. Harrison's not watching this because he doesn't care. But I did appreciate the idea of being thrown at the Lakers, who are run by a bunch of idiots. So maybe they'll do it. I would love that. But anyways, I just wanted to say that I felt bad for Ace Bailey. It wasn't fair. And I do feel like he deserved a better just kind of vote of confidence from the Jazz than what he got. It just sucked. And now we, misses the Rising Stars game. He would have loved that, and I would have loved that. Now I legit don't have anyone to cover during All-Star break. I'm going to just have to go do other things. By the way, I've been gaining muscle, guys. The Hoops Nerd is growing. But anyways, I just was bugged by that, and I don't know. I wanted to say something. I felt bad for Ace Bailey. He deserved better than that. And speaking of that, Filipowski did not make the Rising Stars. Cody Williams did not make the Rising Stars. Obviously, Taylor Hendricks did not make the Rising Stars. We got to talk about him a little bit. Nor Sensabaugh. So Jazz do not have a single player in the Rising Stars game representing the Jazz. I don't think that's fair. I think actually Ace Bailey deserves it, and I think you could make a very clear case over someone like Jeremiah Fears, who I also really like, and some other guys that made it. But, the Jazz did Ace Bailey no favors in that way. And, they didn't really accomplish anything. That's the thing that was frustrating, too, is they didn't accomplish anything. Keyonte George didn't make the All-Star team. Lauri Markkanen didn't make the All-Star team. And they focused on Lauri Markkanen more than anyone this year. Like, it was just extremely important, I guess, to them to, spoon-feed Lauri Markkanen, but he didn't make it. West is tough to make the All-Star team. And, I don't know. So, did a lot of things, accomplished not a lot. But I guess the one thing that is important that the Jazz are doing a good job of is we've got to accomplish getting a top pick in this draft. Utah holds the 6th spot. I think they're going to jump. Like I said, New Orleans is going to pass them eventually. I think Sacramento might. I noticed today, and I don't know how long he's been back, Domantas Sabonis is back. And I don't know when Zach LaVine, I think he's off with injury. They might be just kind of tanking like Utah is. But if those three are playing, they're good enough to win some games. And I think they might pass up the Jazz, which would make me so happy. And should make everyone else happy. Kyle Anderson played tonight. He took a shot to the jaw, but he plays well when he plays. Look at that, +7 in a Jazz 20-point loss. 12 points, 5 assists, 3 rebounds, a winning player. I wouldn't mind him on the Jazz next year, actually, when they're trying to win, and give him some minutes. I would play, next year when you're just trying to win and Jazz are going all out, there's some players I'd play Kyle Anderson over. One of those is Isaiah Collier, to be honest. I wouldn't be surprised if the Jazz trade Collier. There might be some teams out there that might be willing to take a flyer on him. We'll see. But also Bryce Sensabaugh. I think Anderson just brings defense and passing and just moves the ball within the offense just in a really nice way. And he's going to age well because he just doesn't move. His name is literally Slow-Mo. And I think he can help you win a game. Biscoff cheesecake from Steve Areno, $5. Thank you, my man. I'm hungry. I've been doing well on the diet, trying to get this jawline back, and Biscoff cheesecake doesn't help with that. But the $5 is so generous. Thank you, my friend. If anyone's on Twitch, let me know if you're seeing the stream. I don't know if I'm doing something wrong. I don't know. This plugin I did doesn't seem to be working. I'm kind of thinking of switching from my beloved OBS to Streamlabs. I've thought about that before, but it requires a monthly thing, and I don't know if I want to pay. I don't want to pay stuff for stuff. OBS is free. Streamlabs is not. Even though they say they're free, they're not. So, let's see. Kyle Filipowski, he was solid tonight as well. I have to say, Filipowski has kind of recovered a little bit of his his kind of, what's the word, image to me. He's playing better. Nice to see. 8 points, 10 rebounds, 2 assists, very solid. Now, he's a backup big to me. I don't think he'll ever be more than that, and that's fine. You know, backup bigs help you win championships and big games. You know, if he can shoot a high percentage from 3 and rebound and pass and just play his heart out on the defensive end, even if it's not the best. But what he's got to be better at is this. Shooting 31% from 3 is not going to cut it. For him to be an effective player, he's got to hit the 3 because he takes them, especially if you're at the 4 spot, and he's got to just be stronger on defense. Find a way to like hold your ground. Don't let them take advantage. Get that squat rack going, man. You know, go build that core, get in that squat rack, get it figured out. Walter Clayton, I mentioned him a little bit already, played pretty well from the point guard position. I thought he did pretty good. But it wasn't, you know, not a lot to really talk about there other than the 18 minutes. I felt like he manned the point a little bit better. Not a lot of stats there, but, you know, 5 points, 1 block, 2 assists, 2 rebounds, solid. I felt like he played better than Isaiah Collier. So Isaiah Collier, I don't know, he might be tank commander a little bit this year. When Key is out, things just did not look the same. Really, really showed why Keyonte George is such a vital part of this team. He plays incredible point guard. He really does. He has just become an all-star point guard in the NBA, which is really exciting. Really exciting. So we'll see how long he rests. I wouldn't be surprised if he plays tomorrow. And we'll see how things go. They're going to be playing what is it? I can't think of their name. The Golden State Warriors. So, all right, guys. I think that's it for me tonight. Let's bring up the music here. And let's go do the tankathon while we're at it. Utah, like I said, holds that 6th spot, which is great. More likely to keep their pick. Very rarely have we lost the pick with our Sims. Let's see. If the lottery was today, what would happen? Utah stays at 6. I'll take that. That's pretty good. That's actually really good. That gives the Jazz Nate Ament. By the way, I really am liking Nate Ament. I'm liking him. When I scout guys, I know there's a lot of guys out there that love to do the analytics, and I think that's an important part of the puzzle, but it is just part of the puzzle. The other part of the puzzle is watching them play. And what is their game like? And will that translate to the league? I think Nate Ament's game is going to translate to the league in a really nice way. Because he drives hard with more space and his size. I think he's going to be something nice. I think he has Jalen Johnson potential. And maybe I'm wrong, but mark it down. I'm very pro Nate Ament. I just am. I can see it. Now, he may never quite develop. The shot may not ever be consistent, but I think it's pretty good. And what I see is a player that can flourish in the NBA. I also like Mikal Brown. And LeBaron Filan's pretty good. So, you know, Filan might be someone to think about really well. Koa Pete hit a shot against BYU. I couldn't believe it. I think Koa Pete has a chance to be kind of special. He's just really solid. I don't know. He's really good. I like Koa Pete. He is just, it's amazing how big and strong and athletic and developed he is physically. It's kind of wild. So, nice to see. All right, guys, let's go to the All-Stars. Let's give a shout out. Wait, let's reload this just to be sure. I don't want to miss out on anybody. Come on, load it up. All right, looks like we got a new rookie, Hannah Jelm 2596. Thanks for joining, Hannah. Oh, wait, we talked to you the other day. But you still get another welcome. Why not? All right, let's give a shout out to the All-Stars, the ones that make it happen. I appreciate you so much, All-Stars, and your support. Let's give a shout out to See Ya, Lexalator, Ryan Perry, the legend. His name means king. Jace is the ace. Garner, Steve Areno, Stucer, thank you so much for the donation, my friend. Let him cook sturdy pots. Ezekiel Raisibe, the man from down under. Tyson Price, The Price is Right, Jordan the Goat Besserell, Christian House Money to Haas, Robert Hall of Fame Arcs Poetica, Austin R. Grant Editor Extraordinaire, Kiefer 3 at PG the OG, and Patrick Akubo, the Connoisseur. Guys, like the video, subscribe to the channel. It's up, baby. It's up. Boof, 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 boof. Like and subscribe on Twitch. Give me a follow. If you're on the podcast, make sure you give a review.